Gruff, I guess that's you must be quite pleased because there was a record score. But is it a difficult sort of performance to assess?
Yeah, it is in some ways. That I think first quarter we were a bit disappointed that we forced a couple of things, and then manufactured 3 decent tries, whilst blowing a couple in the run into half time. But we did ask second half for us to put them away and be a little bit more ruthless in what we were doing. And regardless of what was in front of us, we did that. However, we've got to acknowledge that there was a pretty limited opposition against us, and and for that, then I think we've got a little bit of mixed feelings as a coaching group, because we've had some real tough outings and some fond memories of these battles against Treviso over the last 3-4 years. So even though obviously we've got to be pleased on one hand, we'll also be realistic about who we played and where we've got to set some standards for perhaps a different game next week.
Gruff, do you think they've given up on the league?
No, I talk about them as a proud bunch. I know Marius, I think, is stepping in as a head guy there, and he's been there from day one, so he knows what makes them tick. Obviously, for them playing at this period without the I don't know what they are, 14, 15 internationals is difficult enough for them. Regardless of the coaching situation and the political situation, I still hope, for them and for our sake in terms of the teams they play against, that they can do their utmost to finish on a high. And certainly out in their ground, I think they'll still do themselves justice.
I guess you were pleased with Nacholga?
Yes, we've been talking a while about how we're evolving our game and trying to shift the ball to wider channels, but it's something that was a clear focus for us this week, trying to put Natoga and Jeff, trying to give them 1v1s against people like Brendan Williams and Natola. We felt there was mileage there. And inside that, get the ball in the hands of Bigger, Spratt and Beck as often as possible, trying to stretch and move sides, and having more of a ball in hand sort of focus. So, in that respect and the way we supported positively and finished things off, I am pretty pleased. But as I said, I can't not acknowledge what was in front of us.
In terms of the league, tries and points scored could be crucial. It's quite tight there at the moment. You must be pleased with that element of it as well, the way you wrapped that up.
Yeah, definitely. I know today is an extreme example, but I think last year we did decree the fact that we couldn't get winning bonus points, and obviously we've nailed that pretty early on today. And I think we've done 4 games of winning bonus points now with 8 to go. So we are accumulating points there, and it is crucial. Certainly now. Our aim is to get a bit of momentum around the last 8 games and get a bit of a feel that we want to try and win something, and if this can give us that going towards next week and beyond, I think we can get a nice roll on.
In terms of the boys who ran 40-45 minutes, Rees Webb, Dan Big, Ashley Beck, all influential in that first sort of 50 minutes as well.
Yeah, they were. We spoke in the week that they're pretty much on page in terms of what we're trying to do as Ospreys, regardless of them being away, then coming back. It's not a radically different mindset. So, they were diligent to know that a couple of tweaks we've done here and there and have adapted to what needed to be done for this working week. And they're great in that respect without obviously talking about their individual attributes as players. Rees is a line breaker and gives us good focus around there. But as I said, Dan is excited about what we're trying to do in terms of our overall attacking play, and him trying to shift the ball is a positive for us.
You play Munster next week. I guess they'll provide tougher opposition.
Yeah, it'll be chalk and cheese. I think we've got to mention that. And as I said, it'll be for us as a coaching group. I'm sure we'll do our review, and there'll be a few grumbles on things here and there. Defensively, there was a couple of little moments where we were a bit narrow and watched the ball, and it looked like we lacked urgency. If we do that next week against the Munster side, which has really adapted well to Penny's game plan this season, they've pushed their try-scoring ratio on and looked really effective ball in hand. So it could be a lively game next week, which we'd embrace, but probably looking at the fact we have to control the margins and be a bit more definitive in where we put Munster as well.
Sam Davis played well as well.
Yeah, he's been a real positive for us, in terms of being in around the main Osprey group now in that Christmas period, getting a consistent block of games, understanding the positional nuances of the 15 role, but also on the front foot today. He wants the ball in his hands. So, I spoke about others and should have mentioned Sam also in that respect, that he doesn't want to be left behind. He's seeing the centres get on the ball, and he's someone who picks his head up and gives clear communication about where he wants to play the game as well. And it's something we've often lacked in the past with players who just look in and don't talk. But as a 10, he gives added value, really, in terms of wanting to play what he sees and actually get others in good positions as well.